in the NFC?
I think it's fairly large. I think one of the things that's interesting about the Rams is I think people look at them, this potent, high-flying offense with 3 wide receivers. They're in a 11 personnel, 3 wides almost 100% of the time. And they give you the illusion, it's the illusion of complexity. They give you the illusion that they're this big-time passing offense and they're going to cut you up in the passing game when really they just want to thunder punch you right in the face. I mean, they just want to hit you in the lips. And they do a great job of it. They do have the weapons outside. They do have Sean McVay and Jared Goff do a great job of pushing the ball down the field, and they have a bunch of layered route concepts, and they just attack zones. They do a great job in the passing game. But at their core, they're a big-time physical group. Their offensive line is absolutely just punishing people right now. And they're a great team, and they are head and shoulders above the rest of the NFC teams right now.
Imagine Kansas City with Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who the Rams are.
And Marcus Peters, who they used to have.
Yeah, well, I just want to just keep it nice and simple.
Sure.
I'm just going to give you that explosive offense and just give you two guys with a mean disposition, and just how that would change your perspective on Kansas City, how it would have changed the perspective Kansas City in that game going against Tom Brady. So they do have the ability to be able to slow teams down a little more so than we've seen with explosive teams that we've had in the past. So I think there's a huge gap. The problem is there's so many quarterbacks in the NFC that on a given Sunday can get hot. Drew Brees can get hot, carve you up for 380, 400. Cam Newton can get 280, run for 110 to be able to beat you. So there's a number. I believe the Vikings will be better at the end of the season. They get some type of running game with Dalvin Cook. I believe there is a margin right now. But when you have a quarterback or you have special type players that I believe are in the NFC, I believe when you get in that tournament, it still makes it very, very dangerous. I also believe that it's important that the Rams can stay undefeated as long so that their fan base senses it's a special season. Because at home field advantage, going to Los Angeles, no one knows what that would be like. But I just believe football in January in L.A. would be pretty special if they had a 15-1 season, 14-1 regular, so that the momentum continues into the postseason. I believe that becomes very, very important to make sure that no one wants to come to the Coliseum in January.
And how big's the gap? Well, they have 6 wins. The second-best team in the NFC has 4. So, I mean, that's a pretty big gap through 2 weeks to have to be 2 wins clear of the field. I think that is about where it is. I think that's about accurate. New Orleans probably the second-best team. They're the only other 4-win team. And then you got a bunch of teams that are 3-2, 3-2-1, a bunch of teams that, like, I think the Vikings can be really good. But we also saw big warning signs about the running game that they have not answered and about their defense that they're starting to answer.
But we also saw them head-to-head. Yeah. And the Minnesota Vikings not playing well looked like a good football team when they were going against the Rams.
Absolutely, which is why I think the home field is the biggest point of this, because it's not only about where you don't have to go, but it's about where those explosive quarterbacks don't get to play. We know Aaron Rodgers can win a game in the snow. We don't know if Jared Goff can. Right. We know Drew Brees can carve you up in his dome. We know he's a different player in the outdoors. So for all those reasons, I totally agree. The 1 seed for them is of critical importance.
By the way, under Sean McVay, 11-1 away from home. 10-1 on the road and 1 game in London. So 11-1 away from home. They've lost their games at home in Los Angeles. But I will tell you this, defensively, you mentioned Donald, you mentioned Suh, unbelievable. Edge pass rush is an issue for them.
Yes.
But when they get Aqib Talib back, Aqib Talib is one of the smartest football players in the National Football League. He actually meets weekly with Sean McVay to go over strategy, and I mean, this guy is phenomenal, and he's the soundtrack of that defense, and they have missed him, and yet they're still 6-0 without one of their #1 players, and he has made a huge impact on Marcus Peters and the rest of that defensive secondary. So that's something to watch. When they get him back healthy, that is a formidable defense that's struggled here the last couple of weeks.
All right, Stink, stay with us.